The winch creaked and the thick chains rang out with a dull clang. Very, very slowly, it was lifted up out of the submarine's cargo hold.
なるほど。イタリア人どもが我々を潜水艦に近づけたがらないわけだ。
The first lieutenant and the others looked up at what the winch was slowly lifting up, all of them wearing unpleasant forced smiles.
なんてこと、これがパパの運んでいた積み荷だというの？
すごい。こんなの生まれて初めて見た。
There was a mountain of gold ingots. Those carefully piled bars were being slowly lifted out of the cargo hold, one group after another, as gold had been their true cargo. I don't know where they were planning to take it. They might have been trying to sneak it into Japan, one of their allies, or they might have been on their way to hide it in some remote area. Was it some sort of strategy? A conspiracy? Embezzlement? Top-secret transportation of wealth? This incomprehensible amount of gold led to all sorts of dark suspicions, but we didn't know anything about the truth. All told, the gold weighed an incredible 10 tons. That was the only truth we could wrap our minds around at the moment. They had strongly resisted showing this to us. However, the submarine could no longer make sea, and it was apparently continuing to take in water bit by bit. Okenjima had been outfitted in an extremely slipshod way, so we had no means of repairing it. Also, though we could unload the sub, there was no way we'd be able to lift it up again once it had filled with water and sunk to the bottom. Now that transporting the gold away had clearly become an impossible goal, they had apparently decided on unloading it. Of course, they made no effort to explain the reason behind all this gold. They just asked us to help them and take it out.
なぜこんな大量のこれだけあればイタリアの戦局を変えられたかもしれないの。
戦局を変えるのは武器。でも戦後は何の役？確かに。でも戦後にもその価値は変わらないわ。
There's no longer any way to change the course of this war. The Axis powers will probably all surrender, leading to an Allied victory. Anyone could tell that simply by looking at the American planes flying across the sky day after day. However, gold does not lose its value after war. Everyone stared upwards, dumbfounded, as the winch slowly lifted the dull, sparkling gold. Okay, okay. I see you, I see you. So now the question becomes, how does that become Kinzo's gold, you know? Because clearly, like, you know, the gold, I guess, technically probably belonged to Beatrice's father, right? But now clearly the military people are gonna take advantage of it, be like, no, this is Italy's gold, boy. So something is, I'm assuming something has to happen now between, you know, the Italian-Japanese forces here, to where somehow it's just Beatrice and Kinzo left.
イタリア人たちはこの黄金のことを本土へ報告しないことを望んでいます。
我が国に横領されたくないからであろうな。
彼は何と？
日本が黄金を横領するのを恐れているから報告されたく。
少尉はむしろイタリア本国に知られる私たちにとって今の祖国は連合国の傀儡政権。彼らに知られれば黄金はしかしそれは私たちの敵に黄金を渡すようなもの。
They'd come all this way to make sure that the gold didn't fall into enemy hands. They needed to hide it from that puppet government until their homeland could truly be restored.
後ろ宮、イタリア人たちに我々は協力を申し出たいとな。
協力とは？
イタリア人たちの言い分は彼らはその黄金を祖国に知られること。しかしこの島から運び出そうとすれば、そうすれば本土に知られ、さらにはイタリア本国にも知られることとなる。
そうなります。つまりあの黄金はもう六軒島からは運び出せない。
Their mission must have been to hide the gold in absolute secrecy until the day of their homeland's restoration. Later on, several plausible rumors would circulate about how Nazi Germany also moved much of its secret wealth to certain hidden areas in South America just prior to its collapse. It was a very natural conclusion to reach. That submarine was their only method of transporting the gold in secrecy, and it's become completely useless. They can't fully stop the water from seeping in, and it'll probably sink completely before much longer. There's no longer any way for them to transport the gold in secrecy. In other words, their mission has ended in failure here in the Far East. So, just how is Lieutenant Yamamoto proposing that we assist them?
この六軒島基地は誰も知らぬ秘密基地だ。近隣の島民たちはこの島を不吉な無人島と信じて近寄りもしない。言っている意味がわかるか？後ろ。
彼は何と？
前にも話した通り、見ての通り、戦略価値は何もなく、注意はこの島に黄金を隠してはどうかと提案したいみたいだ。
Beatrice quickly translated this and told Lieutenant Angelo. He began discussing something rapidly with his subordinates. They didn't look happy. Japan may have been their ally, but they probably didn't want to leave the gold for reconstructing their motherland in Asian hands. Still, it was hard to imagine any other option for them.
激しく議論している他に手はないという者もいるし、それでも祖国に忠誠を尽くす少尉は板挟みになってるわ。
The final order given to them by their fallen homeland was to hide the gold. However, by now there was no way for that order to be carried out successfully. If the mainland, or their homeland, found out, the gold would probably be confiscated by the wrong people, from their point of view. If they really wanted to carry out their homeland's orders faithfully, Lieutenant Yamamoto's proposal was extremely reasonable. Though he couldn't understand their words, he seemed to realize how divided they were.
我々幸いなことに廃棄された地下壕が長々とこの島の地下に
黄金を隠して埋めれば誰にも
現実的な申し出だと議論してるわ。でも日本人の手を借りるのに抵抗を感じてるみたい。
議論が難航しているようです。
議論の余地などあるのか、イタリア人。我々の協力なくばまさかいつまでも波打ち際に積み上げておくわけにもいくまい。
アンジェロ少尉は黄金のことを知る人間を日本人は信用できないけど、山本中尉の申し出が今はサイズでもいぶかしがってるわ。
Right.
何を
About fucking Yamamoto's excitement here. Just like, yeah, just keep the gold here with us. Yeah.
10トンの黄金を隠すという労力の提供と守秘義務を彼らが
Oh no, they
本当に
fully
無償で提
expect
供してくれる
compensation.
のかと。
That's the thing, they fully expect compensation. They're like, oh yeah, we'll help you, we'll hide it. As long as, slip us a little something, reward us for our efforts. Like, yeah, no, 100%. 100% they expect compensation.
五分と五分。
Ooh, damn. I was expecting a little off the top. Homie asking like, okay, yeah, we'll hide it. 5 tons. We want 5 of your 10 tons. Hey, bro, I was thinking you were gonna ask for like, make something like somewhat reasonable, like, hey, just give me a gold bar for each of my, give my subordinates each a gold bar and give me 2, huh? I'd say, that's a nice little paycheck for us, yeah? This man says, I want half of it. That money you want to use to restore your country at some point, I want half of that. I want half of it. We're gonna divvy that up between us. We want half of it. That's fucking stupid.
注意、それはまさか。
あの黄金の半分を我々
Yeah,
に
even
よこせ。
Keenzo's just like, dude, are you out of your fucking mind?
それを手間賃に残りの半分を厳重に隠してやる。
With that as our work wages. 5 tons of gold. How much was the gold estimated to be? Like 20 billion? One second, let me do a quick little googie. Google. Hit the googie. I wonder if I'm sure they have a page like just on the gold. Okay, 20 billion yen worth of gold. There we go. I just wanted confirmation on the price, right? 20 billion yen, and that's in the modern day, right? But even then, what the equivalent of 10 billion yen in 67 right? 67 was when Child Beta died, so this was even before that. The dumbass, they said the year before it at the beginning of this, 1944, idiot. Fuck, I'm an idiot. So the equivalent of 10 billion yen in 1944, whatever that was, obviously I don't fucking know. But obviously, big fucking money. Like, okay. So, one sec. I'm gonna do a little bit of research here, okay? So, let's say I just want to look up yen to USD, right? Which is roughly like, yeah, yen is like roughly a penny to the US. Jesus, it's not even a penny, it's like 3/4 of a penny. Well, that's not the point. So we go 10, comma, okay, 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 10 million yen is roughly $80,000. Not quite, $80,000, okay? That's like in the modern day. Well, not in the modern day, that's in the 80s, alright? In the 80s, it was worth 78,000. Okay. How much was it like inflation adjuster? Yeah, inflation calculator. There we go. Inflation calculator. Calculate inflation? Yeah. I'm just curious. What would this money be like nowadays? Alright. Choose year. Okay, yeah. From the year of, let's just go from, the date of the version 1986, right? In 1986, how much would 78,000, I think it was 78,820, to April of this year? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, what, because they put it in decimal? Calculate, can you? Ready to put the dollar sign in or what? Why did shit not work? So you give me this last calculator. Okay, I guess try it out then. 78,812. Oh, hot damn. Yeah, okay. So nowadays, in terms of, American money, that worth about $205,000. That's a fat sack. That is a fat sack. A little under $250,000. Like, maybe you want to leave, but I got a lot of money. God damn. Okay. So, I was just inflation calculator, calculate with yen. Inflation calculator, yen. Give me the yen. Calculator. Give me yen. One else on the podcast. One inflation calculator. 6 months, how much money? Okay, take my inflation calculator. 16 months, 4 months, yen. Okay, so let's go to, how do I do that? So 1986, right? Okay, 1986, yeah, 1986. Okay, so, 1,096, 0.1 million yen. Okay, so for you, we're gonna do we're gonna have this, right? 6 months, 20 calculator. It's only calculator. Doesn't have 8%. But I'm serious. There's like 1 so it's worth 1 point. Get how many, get the calculator, and base, how many times 20 billion. Oh shit, I broke up. It's 20 billion. Oh, okay, that's really, okay, that's 20 billion. Doesn't make so, that's 6,000. Okay, well, that's 2,000. It's hard. Alright, 20 million is about 30 people. So, by today's standards, alright, by today's standards in the US, alright, these men are essentially asking for $93 million. These men are asking for $93 million. Bro. These motherfuckers is out here asking for the equivalent of $93 million. Imagine if by today's standards, someone in today's world, alright, you come in with $186 million worth of shit, and then you say, you know what? Give us 93 of that. For our, what did he say? There's like 30 men stationed here. Hey, math time. Excuse me, it's math time? It's math time, right? Okay, let's do 93, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 93 million, right? Divide that by 30. Yeah, I just want to give everyone $3.1 million. That's a nice little paycheck for, keeping this gold secret, right? Because that's not suspicious at all. Imagine if you're a soldier out on this deadbeat patrol. Like, you're a soldier, alright? Soldiers aren't bringing in the big bucks like that, alright? Imagine you're a soldier and you finally come off, you're off duty, right? You come back home. You're no longer, I don't know what the proper terminology is, but you finally come home and you got an extra 3.1 million in your bank account. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that's fucking suspicious. Just saying. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna raise some eyebrows. I don't know what the Japanese version of the IRS is, but I imagine they're gonna look at that and say, hey, what the fuck? Like, maybe things were a bit more lax in the 80s, sure, but still. Well, I mean, in the 40s, that's where this takes place. But I mean, even by the 80s standards, maybe the Japanese IRS was a bit more lax with shit like that, right? But just imagine the eyebrows it's gonna raise. Like, oh hey, my neighbor Dave came home from duty, and man's got millions. Man's got millions. Imagine coming home from duty. Like, obviously your neighbors would never know, or at least, you know, they wouldn't know initially, because obviously you think any of these idiots are not gonna ball out. Like, you get 3.1 and you're not gonna ball out? Hey, why does Dave have a new fucking Ferrari in his goddamn front yard, huh? He's a goddamn soldier. There's no way man should be have enough to just stroll up in a Ferrari. Hey yo, why is the delivery people bringing Dave a brand new 70-inch flat screen? Hey yo, Dave, what kind of paycheck do Uncle Sam cutting you? Cause I don't fucking believe it. Ain't no way Uncle Sam's gonna give up that much money. 3.1. And like, I doubt it'd be split up evenly. Obviously the commander would get a bit more, right? But like, $93 million. $93 million. The fucking audacity of that, you know? That's the thing. I get it. He feels like he's in a position of power. He's like, oh, well, if you don't give us that money, I guess I'll just have to fucking tattle to the government, won't I? Like, the whole point is that they don't trust you, right? And like, apparently this guy thinks he's something special, right? He's like, well, he's probably thinking like, all these Italians, they're all sickly and shit. If they try to like, you know, fight us, they're not gonna last. Yeah, I guess I can kind of see where this is all gonna lead to. I'm just, the audacity. The audacity. I knew he was gonna ask for, yo, a cut, alright? That much was painfully obvious. You knew just from his tone alone, alright? Even if you couldn't see all the red flags popping up, you could tell just from the tone of his voice, he was gonna ask for a cut. The fact that this man had the balls, the absolute fucking cojones, to ask for $93 million worth of cha-ching as bribe money. Nah. He fully expected compensation. And honestly, I understand that. I get it, because you know what, his mentality is in kind of the right place. I won't lie. You have this position of power over them, to where it's like, hey, listen, like, what do you like? Obviously, we gotta get something out of this, right? Like, you literally would not be able to do that without us. Well, I mean, come on. You think we're just be kind of generous here? We're in a war, buddy. But like, maybe a little bit of money, just so that you got a nice little cushion to fall back on when you finally get home, right? This motherfucker wants $93 million. $93 million. Do y'all not realize how much $93 million could set someone up? And I'm just talking about here in the U.S., $93 million, bruh. Like, obviously that's not going to one person, but like I said, imagine getting 3 milli. Imagine just having 3 million in your bank account. Bro. That's retirement money, buddy. That's retirement money. If I had 3 million? If I had 3 million? I'd never work another day in my life. I'd be Gucci. I'll put that shit in fucking savings. With our atrocious savings rates, but still, I'm gonna get some money back on that shit. I'm gonna put that shit in savings. And I'm gonna fucking, well, not put it all in savings, because obviously you want to draw some of that money out. But like, yo, split that shit 50-50. Like, even if you have 1.5 in checking, like, damn, homie. And you keep like 1.5 in savings, like, shit, let that shit build up a bit, shit. Especially here in the 40s, goddamn. I'm just saying, like, this man asking for and like, I guess I should have expected like a comically like ridiculous amount, right? These guys are clearly like, you know, the way Kinzo's described him was like, they're all just a bunch of assholes, and not like your typical kind of like jarhead assholes. They're just really like the one, oh my god, That's right. He just said that this lieutenant was known for being a thug before he joined the military. I totally spaced that until now. It all makes sense now. Okay. It's one thing to say, yeah, no, you're gonna compensate us for this. Yeah, no, this guy was a fucking thug off the street. Of course he's gonna come in with this kind of mentality of like, give me 50, give me half of that, give me half of that, I want it. And of course, you know, he's got that thug mentality. He's gonna want to go home and ball out, right? Fucking moron. That's ugh. Whew. Anyway, I've wasted enough time. Let's continue.
半分をよこせと言ってる。
The instant Beatrice translated that sentence, Lieutenant Angelo slammed his hands on the desk and stood up. Instead of flinching, Lieutenant Yamamoto, true to his boast of once being a thug who everyone feared, actually looked even more relaxed and confident than he had previously.
本来なら断りようのない話だ。8割を要求してもおかしくない。それを敬意を表して五分と五分にしようと提案しているのだ。
I could have asked for 80, but since I'm such a good guy, I'm not gonna bother running that math again, but like,
これは我々だけに有意な話。イタリア人たちが外部にこのことを漏らせば、全ての我々には1円たりとも転がり込んで、我々は全員が共犯でなくてはならない。
全員に着服の共犯になれと注意はすでに軍人としてでなく個人として。
なんてこと。黄金に目がくらんだのね。
Lieutenant Yamamoto was grinning. Really did look as though he'd been blinded by greed, just as Beatrice said.
あのまま山積みにしていれば、やがて本土から来る迎えの連中の目に嫌おうなく入るだろう。そうなれば、ここにいる誰も我々の申し出を受けて、早急に黄金を隠す。
アンジェロ少尉は、日本政府やイタリア政府にはどうしても彼は自分が与えられた任務に最後まで。
つまりどういうことだ。
何割かを口止め料として与えてでも島内に地中深く埋めることを望んでるわ。もちろん下士官たちには異論5割は問題外だと憤慨してるわ。
後ろ宮、イタリア人たちの感触はどうだ。
彼らも黄金がこれ以上の人。しかし取り分に
少尉は1割ならば無論山本中尉はそれで納得しな
Now
い
see,
だろうと。
10%, that's kind of what I was expecting, right? Like 10% off the top, you know? Cause shit, you're still walking away with 2 billion yen at that point. Alright? 10% off the top. This man was asking for 93, alright? This man was asking for 93, and they're saying, hey, we'll slide you 18. How's 18 milli sound? Which 18 milli is still pretty damn good. Not as big of a paycheck for the soldiers, but it's still a comfy fucking cushion to sit on. So hey, 18 milli for the gang. We'll give y'all 18 milli for your group. And like, that's where I was gonna start negotiations at. You know, maybe I'm just too generous of a fucking dude, but like, that's where I was gonna fucking, my starting point. That's where my mentality was. I'm like, yeah, what seems like a amount that like won't piss them off too much? 10. Yeah, let's go 10. Yeah, I'll say 10. Like, I can understand maybe starting at like a quarter and then like haggling your way down to 10. It's like, hey, I'm still walking away with 10%, buddy. But this man came out swinging for 50.
後ろ宮、イタリア人の返事はいかに。
1割なら検討すると。
This time it was Lieutenant Yamamoto who slammed down on the desk. But the Italians didn't flinch either. An incredible tension filled the small room. However, despite his violent outburst a second ago, Lieutenant Yamamoto's expression still looked smug and in control. He's probably confident that he now had the initiative.
1割1割いいだろう。しぶろくだ。
10%. Ah, you want me to take 10% off my...
これ以上は譲らんと伝えろ。
40% for the Japanese, 60% for the Italians. The lieutenant was talking tough, but in truth, these negotiations weren't being made on equal footing. the Italians just wanted the gold for themselves, there wouldn't have been much of a problem. But what if? What if they were true patriots and decided to return the gold for the purpose of reconstruction, even to the defeated puppet government of their homeland? If so, they would probably report the existence of the gold to the Italian embassy. Eventually, the Italian government would petition the Allied nations for the retrieval of the gold. Probably wouldn't make it all the way back to Italy, but it might be used to effectively repair and rebuild their battered towns. If that happened, Lieutenant Yamamoto and his friends would only be able to sneak out a few ingots at most. He was greedily planning to make this his own treasure island, so that he and his subordinates could have an enormous fortune all to themselves. If he wanted to succeed, the Italians would have to keep the presence of the gold quiet.
しかし疑問だ。アンジェロ少尉が誰にも黄金を渡したくないならどうして荷上げを？
考えたくはない命令が遂行不能になった時点で、少尉はこの黄金を横領することを彼は今、下士官たちに祖国に家族が待つ一個人としての意見堅物の下士官たちが激高してる。
The discussion between the Italians was becoming fierce and emotional. Though their homeland had fallen, they had come all this way in accordance with its orders. They had probably been given this mission because they were particularly faithful and duty-minded troops. It seemed they couldn't just agree to a foreigner's proposal to embezzle and split up the gold. Lieutenant Angelo looked like he was doing all he could to calm the unexpectedly fervent rage of his subordinates. Looks like the gold is blinding them, too. Everyone's mixing up their true feelings with how they want to be seen, and they can't make up their minds.
奴らの返答は後ろ宮。
ビーチェ、周囲が返事を求めてる。
考える時間が欲しい。私はあなたと話せたから気が紛れてよかったけれど、他の人たちはとても長い後悔の果てに大勢の仲間を失っ唯一の心の拠り所だった任務もどうすればいいのか。彼らも
注意、彼らは時間が欲しい。
いいとも。しかし時間はないぞ。隠すとなったら時間と手間がかかる。明日の正午までに結論しろ。以上だ、イタリア人ども。
回答期限は明日の週。まるで脅迫だ。
少尉は全員の意見を聞くと言ってるわ。
感触は
多分少尉自身は山分けもありえ、下士官や他の仲間たちはみんなこの極東までの航海で大切な仲間を大勢失ってる。
Way of everyone fucking dying.
彼らは堅くなに祖国への忠誠を貫きたがってる。断ってもどうせ黄金は誰かの手に渡るわ。何も残らないならせめてインゴットの一本ずつでも密かに持ち帰ろうという少尉の言い分に同調者も出そうだけど、こういう時の男って勢いだけが迷走するわ。私も見当がつかない。